Second.
Oh, we got our fancy logos first.
It's so fancy.
It is.
There we go.
It is. There you go. Into the game. In the pink, or I guess in the red, since we're looking at that first. From Team Quantic, he is...
Aw.
I was hoping you'd do more of like the Monty Python aw. Ah.
Okay.
And
I was doing like, please don't hurt me, dentist.
Oh, okay.
I was like, aw?
Aw. Aw. And then from Team NMX, we have Noxn, who apparently is a woman. And she plays StarCraft at a professional level, which is, or at least a very, very, very high level.
That's actually weird to say. She.
That's kind of cool. There are not that many female StarCraft players.
Yeah. Props. And Noxn also
Huge
made
props.
it out of the first round.
Yeah, 2-0'd her opponent.
2-0ing the opponent. So apparently Noxn, mad skill set.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. 2-0ing anyone in this kind of tournament is pretty impressive. So some good play out of her. And they are playing here on one of the GSL maps. Big fan of all that map pool. And what do we see? Looks like he's going to be going for the Forge Fast Expand. This is
like
very
it.
typical of his play style. Like I said, I've seen a lot. Ooh, going for Nexus first, actually. So that is a little bit risky out of him. But I like it nonetheless. And Noxn sneaking the hatch down with some good micro. So she's probably feeling really happy about that. She got to go pool at the time she wanted. She got to go hatch at the time she wanted. Forge not even started, so there isn't a huge rush of a cannon rush yet. And I wonder if we're going to see the fast third hatch out of Noxn.
Well, no gas just yet. That's a good sign. There is a probe in the Zerg base, though, exiting now to the natural expansion. Keep an eye on what's going on down there. Meanwhile, Zerglings are out, and that's going to force this probe to run. And this probe ain't going to run very far, sir.
Well, the probe is just a tiny bit slower than Zerglings that don't have speed. So it might make it home, but probably not. Shields are pretty good in this game. And good Overlord placement, hiding in those bushes.
Very nice. Forge finishing up in the Protoss base there. And you see the additional photon cannon going down as well at the natural. Zerglings now taking over the
I like this. Out of Noxn is going to see that probe.
Very nice.
And that
spot.
probe was meant to sneak out and go after the third, but this is going to be 3 hatch before gas. So this is actually like super hard to deal with. Whoa, oh, Zergling, what are you doing there?
Uh-oh, there's another probe in too.
No, that was the same probe.
Same
it just
probe.
Didn't kill
Didn't
it.
get killed. Wow.
So I would say that's a little bit of a miscontrol out of Noxn.
Well, regardless, looks like the probe's not going to be able to get in and do what he
Another
wanted
probe
to do.
trying to sneak out. There's Zergling at this watchtower too, though. So is probably not super happy about that. There's probes everywhere, and Zerglings to intercept them. But this third is going to finish up, and I mean, what is going to get spotted here? Just drones, no gas yet. So this says a lot.
That's a tell,
right?
yeah.
This is a huge tell.
Sure.
So this basically says to hey, look, you actually don't have any defensibility against this zealot I'm sending out. Because all you're going to have is slow lings and queens. I can potentially do some damage, force some units that you don't want to make. And, I mean, what do we see? Do we see any text path yet out of No, not quite yet. Hasn't even gotten the cyber core down.
+1 to
Or
attack.
no, he does. He has. Sorry, it was hiding.
But that's it. Good old attack +1.
A great upgrade, because it allows you to 2-shot lings with your zealots instead of 3-shotting them. But right now, just a lot of macro, 8 drones at a time. We just passed the 6-minute and 30-second mark, and I think I'll point this out. Usually at 6 minutes is when you want to throw down your double gas. At about 7 minutes, you throw down an Evo chamber. And 7 minutes and 10 seconds to 7:30, you throw down the Roach Horn, depending on what you scout. And those are just like the standard timings for 3 hatch before gas play to be able to deal with big gateway aggression out of your Protoss opponent. Now, this is only 4 gates. And a lot of the modern Protoss style has been to do 4 gates and then like be aggressive with those 4 gates, but don't go all in and take a third behind this aggression. So I'm curious as to if this is what Oz going to go for, and if it is, then he's playing a very modern style of PvZ, and I really like it. So I think it's very, very strong.
Taking a look at the supplies here, though, you see Noxn at 65 and a little bit low, but now that those warp gates are up.
Yeah, I mean, this is somewhat to be expected at this point in the game. If we just look at the unit count, 57 drones to 39 probes, but only 4 Lings out on the map, and Ling speed just now being started. So this attack that's coming out, Zerg really doesn't have anything. Like, she's making roaches and Lings, but those Lings aren't going to have speed. And with good force fields, this kind of attack, you force field the ramp here, do a lot of damage to the drones, and you're not in too bad of a place, especially with the +1.
There we go. Spinecrawler now under attack from the Zealots, and that's forced to cancel right there. Zergling's trying to focus on these sentries here, but they're unable to, and Zealots are able to do tons of damage to these Zerglings.
Zealots are going to do so much damage for this.
2 more joining the party here. Some Zealots are getting low, but Roaches are out now, and that's going to turn around the Zealots.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these Roaches are going to spell the end of this attack, but a fair amount killed there, like a lot of Lings forced, and those Lings would have much rather been drones. So Awe is still at a supply advantage, but I'm sorry, Noxn is still at a supply advantage. Awe actually did not take a third behind this, and I'm a little bit confused by that choice. He is going for a Robo, though, and starting to get out Immortals, which is a good choice against the Roach-heavy composition of his opponent. Good force fields and Immortals can pretty much kill Infinity Roaches, so I'm not too worried about him at this point in the game.
There we go. Supply's still a little wacky here, as Awe was supply blocked there for a second. But now dug out a little bit. And you see more drones going into gas here down at the Zerg base. Now all 3 bases fully saturated. And you can see the Protoss has scouted the 4th base of the Zerg player down in the bottom right.
Yep.
What's doing that scouting? Okay, it's a probe down there.
It is a probe.
Little guy.
Hidden probe. It has been spotted now, and some Roaches are going to come take it out. There's a Scantipede as well. Scantipede, though, didn't do any scouting for anyone.
Yeah. Well behind in supply now, though, and I think things are starting to get a little out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, this 2 Immortals with +1 is a lot of damage output, but
the supply blocking has been
I mean, letting
Awe.
Awe has supply blocked himself a lot of times, actually.
Yeah.
And that's not something I'm used to seeing in his play, so I'm a little bit curious about that. Maybe he's not awake or something, but Noxn, doing a great job macroing, has basically done nothing but make drones, and as soon as she had the drones she wanted, she made Roaches, and now she's gone back to making drones to saturate this 4th base, and starting to poach out onto the map with Roaches. This is a little bit premature. He doesn't have Roach speed yet, but at the same time, wow, that is actually a pretty big army, pretty scary army moving out from Awe. And you have to remember that a lot of Noxn's supply is in workers. And this is going straight for that 3rd base. Queen goes down.
Oh, this is going to get dirty here, bud.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Roach is hitting the front side of the Protoss base, though, and you see tons of pylons going down. Could it be a base trade situation, as the Protoss army has hit the 3rd base in the Zerg as well?
Yeah, I mean, this 3rd base is going to go down, absolutely. Reinforcements coming in pretty nicely there. It's going to go ahead and go for the 4th base, I believe. No, turning around and going back to the main. I'm not sure if this is the best choice, as this natural is definitely going to fall. If she kills off the core, rather, that would be huge. Going for the Nexus instead right now.
Nexus goes down there. Protoss forces it back to deal with this, but you can see the Zerg still has 3 bases cooking. Let's see how the Roaches handle it. Ooh, nice force field right there, blocking the Roaches on that ramp, and now the Protoss locking them in between all of those force fields. Those Roaches are toast, bud.
Where are the probes of Awe? He's lost so many. Trying to rebuild them. He needs to rebuild his natural. It's 1 base to 3 base still.
Yep.
And that Zealot killed a lot, but Awe has switched to, Noxn has switched to Mutalisks, and there are not really enough Stalkers to deal with a big Mutalisk count in this army because of the Immortal heavy composition. So here are the Mutalisks, they're starting to pluck away. And what can Awe do about this? Doesn't even have a forge anymore.
You're pretty much 5 gate all in at this point, aren't you?
I mean, this is
6.
6 gates once this pylon comes up. This is still a really scary army, though. I mean, and that's something to note. These Mutalisks are going to come in here and kill a lot of probes. But yeah, I mean, this force back here, this is what we talked about, right? You know, if I just put pressure on you, you are forced to defend rather than being aggressive with your Mutalisks. But Noxn might just go for it. She might just have the units. Wow, that was actually a lot of roaches and spine crawlers. You need to be very careful when you push up into that awe. Otherwise, you will lose everything. Roaches now coming in. I don't think that awe has the forces to take this on.
Yeah, wow.
Spinecrawler's just getting free hits. These mutas didn't even have to turn around. They're just chasing probes around. And maybe Awe did not take his opponent seriously because she's a girl and she slapped him one real good.
Those Immortals are going to be able to stay up in this situation, Gwyn, and that's going to tell the tale here probably. Looks like the Zerglings up front trying to defend, and wow.
Yeah,
I don't know
actually,
what kind of production is going to come out here in time, really.
This army is just kind of marching in here, and I feel like these mulas should have been pulled back
There
to
we
engage
go.
with the rest of the army.
Okay, now Protoss is toast.
Yeah, I mean, there are not enough stalkers to
Okay.
take on that mutaball,
Sure.
and that's just kind of the thing to note there. More mutas coming out on the field, roaches and lynx as well.
And focusing down the right units.
And then
And the
GG.
Noxn.
So, Noxn taking game 1 off Quantic Awe, and anyone on Quantic, pretty good players, most of them. So I'm kind of surprised about that.